I'm trying hard to make you see. All that you are is all that I need. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on, leave the lights on.
last. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Welcome back to the Motive Racing channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Circuit of the Americas for round 19 of the Formula 1 season here on the Formula 1 game here at Motive. We are very excited to be in the final 4 races of the season. The championship still very much hanging in the balance between Green Pies and Just Jose. Currently 7 points separating these two guys, as it looks like we've got our first driver coming out onto the track right about now. A lot of drivers just getting their setup sorted out. It's a very technical track here, Circuit of the Americas. Not easy to get it right, so I'm sure that there's going to be these guys will have had to be putting in quite a bit of work throughout the course of this last week to get themselves prepared for what's going to be a real challenge. We've got Sergei Zainalov out there at the moment. He's first man out onto the track, actually. Our late stand-in for tonight. Wasn't set to be racing in this Formula 1 league, but gave us a shout earlier on, said would it be alright if I race as the reserve tonight, and couldn't say no to Sergei. He's one of our regular commentators for our Project Cars 2 GT3 league, and also regular racer on our ACC leagues as well. So good to have Sergei out on track, making his Formula 1 debut here at Motive tonight. Very excited to see how he gets on. He's an incredibly quick driver, also very talented in the wet conditions, so if the rain comes down, you can bet that Sergei will be a force to be reckoned with. Festic, also one of the drivers out on the track, relatively new to the league, has only driven a couple of races here at Motive, driving in that Ferrari. We've got Green Pies, the championship leader. This man comes into this round 7 points clear of Just Jose in the championship. He managed to come in second place last week at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. It wasn't the easiest of races for him. Actually, Just Jose had the most difficult race because the safety cars came out at the wrong times for him. But Just Jose overhauled Green Pies and took the win, and Green Pies followed him home in second place. So the gap in the championship went from 14 down to 7, and Green Pies is going to have to really deliver a strong performance tonight to keep that buffer to Just Jose. As I say, 7 points is not really a buffer at all. So yeah, he really needs to put his finger out tonight as Green Pies. Game for Life out there on the track at the moment in that Alfa Romeo. Kieran Argent also on his outlap, driving in that Renault, teammate of Unorthodox. We've got Rednas on his outlap as well. Just Jose looks like he's just leaving the pits. Brown McClues and Penguin Dude both exiting the pits. And what has happened to Penguin Dude there? He's had an absolute mare there as he looks like he's had a collision with the safety car or something, but he's been disqualified from the session. Very peculiar there from Penguin Dude. He's now out of qualifying, and we barely even got going. Penguin Dude, obviously one of our coordinators here at Motive Racing, our Formula 1 league coordinator, and unfortunately maybe having to deal with a few responsibilities in the background there, and has managed to get disqualified for some kind of pit lane infringement, but I'm sure we'll find out later on what exactly that was. Festic, though, currently out on the track. Gary also on his outlap. He's got out onto the track. Jaffa Cake's out there now in that Red Bull. We've got Evans in the other Ferrari, currently getting his tyres up to temperature as well. GDBO's just coming out of the pits in the AlphaTauri, teammate of Just Jose. We've got Matahimovic in that Racing Point. Matahimovic out there maybe with he can drive a little bit more freely this week because he's realistically out of the championship contention now. Obviously, this being the 4th race from the end of the season. There's 3 races after this one, and I think he's just about almost out of that range. If he has a poor round tonight, then he will be mathematically out of contention for the championship. But he's pretty much been saying since the get-go that he's not going for the championship. He's known for a while that that's going to be between Green Pies and Just Jose, and he's just been picking up results where he can, as we see him having a little bit of a collision there with the Ferrari. Doesn't look like there's any damage on either car though, so they've got away with that one. But Matahimovic comes over the line to start his first flying lap of the session. Let's see what he's able to do here in the USA tonight, as Green Pies is currently setting the pace on a 1:31 dead. That's a very quick lap time indeed there from our man in the McLaren. The championship leader knows he's got to really put his finger out this time out. Just Jose's going to be on it. We all know what Just Jose's like. Just Jose has been hunting that, been bringing that gap down pretty much since the mid-season. I remember at one point that championship gap was actually at 68 points, I believe it peaked at. So Green Pies was leading the championship by 68 points, and Just Jose has been just bringing it down and bringing it down and closing it down, getting closer and closer and closer. As we see, Game for Life there has retired from the session. Not quite sure what that is about, but Green Pies there just letting an Alfa Romeo go through. So that looks like it must have been Rednas, because Game for Life has crashed out of qualifying, so Game for Life will not be taking any further part in this session, and unfortunately for him, he is not set a lap time, so it's just going to see his name tumbling down the order from now until we get to the end of this session. Very unfortunate there for him, as GDBO is currently on a flying lap right about now. Gary's in the pits, not sure what's going on there, but the other man in the Racing Point clearly not having the best of sessions so far. DJ Phil is also in the pits. Rednass and Just Jose. Very surprising to see Just Jose currently sat in his pit box with 11 minutes to go in this session. Is he just keeping his cards close to his chest and not showing his full... Is he keeping those sandbags on and not showing his full potential until the very end? We'll have to keep our eyes open on that one. Brown Recluse has gone into P2, provisionally on the front row of the grid alongside Green Pies. We've got Matt Himrich still in third. Unorthodox has done a time good enough for a P4 on the medium tyres though, no less. So he's definitely getting the best out of them. Matt Himrich, Brown Recluse and Green Pies, we believe, all on the red marked soft tyre. So the grippier soft tyre, obviously less durable, can't go as far into the race, or indeed or you can't get the best life out of them in a qualifying session as you would on the mediums. But Green Pie's definitely looking to try and put himself at the top of the order. He's not taking any prisoners here on Just Jose. Just Jose knows that he's got the momentum at this point in the season. Obviously took the win last time out in Japan, and generally speaking, Just Jose's actually got slightly better pace, I would say, as a whole. There are tracks where Green Pies really does have the ascendancy, but I'll say Just Jose has had the better of him in terms of raw pace throughout this season. Green Pies tends to be more consistent, as we're watching Brown Recluse coming in towards the final couple of corners now. Let's see what he can do here. He's coming into the pit, so he's clearly not on an improvement at this point. Matimovic is coming in towards the final sector now. In the Racing Point, he's gone wide. Oh, he's gone well off the track there. Unorthodox sneaks up the inside. These two have had their fair share of good battles over the course of this season, but Matimovic there having a bit of a moment, and that will have cost him time. That will have definitely ruined his current lap that he's on. And Dan looks like he's coming into the pits, so he's clearly also on a bit of a dodgy lap. Matimovic looks like he's also following him in as well, so both of those two not on improvements. Maybe Dan got a little bit held up as he was overtaking Matimovic there, so no fastest lap times for either of those two. Sergey Danilov currently sat in 6th on his F1 debut, racing as a reserve, so can't knock him. He really is rising to the occasion so far. Joram in the pits, Jaffa Cake in the pits as well. Kieran Argent currently out there on a lap time, coming through the middle sector. We got Festic there coming through the S's. We got Gary coming up towards turn 1. Evans still sat in the pits with only 9 minutes left to go, halfway through the session. DJ Phil on his out lap coming through the S's, getting those tyres up to temperature. You got Rednass and Just Jose on his out lap. Finally, Just Jose taking to the track. What is this man capable of? He's put the soft tyres on, which to me suggests that he is he definitely rates Green Pies' pace so far. The fact that he's put those softs on, we often see Just Jose putting those mediums on during qualifying and trying to go long into the first stint. So this is a clear indication that Green Pies has got some very strong pace, which Just Jose is very intent to cover off. So we'll keep an eye on this one as this one unfolds. But Green Pies there doing a great lap there. A great banker to the start of this qualifying session. Halfway through, Green Pies, Brown Recluse, Matt Himrich, GDBO and Unorthodox all in the pits. Sergey currently out on a flying lap at the moment. Joram and Jaffa Cake, Kieran Argent as well, sat in the pit lane. We've got Festic out there at the moment. Let's see what Festic can do as he's coming up towards the final few corners of his lap. And Festic's obviously hasn't been racing it for too long. Bit of a lock up there coming into penultimate corner. He hasn't been involved in the Motive Racing F1 League for that long, so he's definitely just finding his feet in this league. But he's coming up towards the line now, puts his DRS on, and it looks like it's a P9 there for Festic, so he's a long way off at the moment, not where he'd want to be. Kieran Argent looks like he's still sat in the pits. Festic's Ferrari teammate Evans just exiting the pit box now. DJ Phil is out lap. Rednass is coming through the final part of the lap. Looks like Gary's gone into P9 with that last lap. He's currently 4 seconds off of the pace being set by Green Pies, so not where Gary wants to be either at this point. So 11 drivers putting in a lap time at the moment. Still the other 6 yet to put one in. Penguin Dude obviously disqualified from the session, so he's not going to be able to do a lap time at the moment. He did put in the general chat section on the Discord that he was blocking the pit lane because he had major wheel problems. Thankfully the wheel is sorted now, so he says. So fingers crossed that does not thwart him once we go lights out for the race. GDBO currently sat in P4 provisionally at the moment in this qualifying session, 9/10 of a second off of Green Pies, the current provisional pole sitter. Unorthodox is coming through the middle sector. He'll be starting a lap in about a minute's time. We've got Sergey on his flying lap coming through up towards the S's. Still hasn't improved on his 33.6 so far. Joel Ram still sat in the pits. Don't know what he's doing at the moment. Gary is surely going to improve on that 1 minute 35.5. We know that Gary's got lots of pace in that racing point. He's always able to extract the best out of it. Kieran Argent's come out of the pits. He's currently on an out lap. Evans out of the pits as well. Redknapp still sat in the pits. I don't know what's going on with Redknapp, but he needs to get out there. Otherwise he's going to miss out. Got a few comments coming in on the YouTube stream right now. Cosmic Mike putting some car emojis here. He's excited for this one. Good to see you, Cosmic Mike. We've got the Lazy Camel. Says, good luck everybody. Go for it, Penguin Dude. Very much voicing his support for Penguin Dude, but Penguin Dude has had an absolute mare of a start to this event. Lazy Camel, he's had a bit of a moment there with his wheel disconnecting, blocking the exit of the pit lane. Thankfully he's got that sorted out now though. JR also saying good luck everyone. Good to have JR watching the stream. We've got Miguel Brandon says hi guys, welcome along Miguel. Miguel also is the reigning GT3 champion here for our Project Cars 2 League at Motive Racing, otherwise known as Miguelito. Regularly races in our tier 1 for the GT3s. Good to have him watching. We've got the Wall says, who is jumping up and down in the ice? Penguin Dude. That's a good one. I like that one, the Wall. We got obviously Team ODC representative Penguin Dude, so the Wall's not going to be too happy with that one, but yeah, anyway, we move. Points are handed out in the race, not in the qualifying session. We've got Rakim in the comments saying, evening all, let's do only 2 safety cars this evening. Rakim, I'm kind of hoping we don't have any safety cars, because any safety car is indicative of a collision, and we don't like collisions here at Motive Racing. We like clean, fair racing. We don't want people crashing into each other, so fingers crossed we have 0 safety cars tonight, but I wouldn't bank on it. Realistically, I think it's a little bit too much to hope that we don't have any crashes, but fingers crossed the crashes that we do have are solo crashes, you know, drivers binning it by themselves and not taking anybody with them, because it's a devastating shame when you see people taking others with them. But we got Game for Life there says, I am going for a comeback in this race. Game for Life, obviously another one of the drivers who crashed out at qualifying early on, other than Penguin Dude, so hopefully Game for Life will be coming back through the pack and really showing his potential. Just Jose is coming up towards the final part of his first flying lap, in towards the penultimate corner, absolutely wrestling that AlphaTauri round, but he's coming into the pits. Wow. Just Jose clearly doesn't think that he's on a lap good enough there for pole position, or maybe, just maybe, I'm just trying to put myself into just Jose's shoes here, maybe he's gone out for a couple of laps on the soft tyres just to see whether or not Green Pies goes any quicker than he's gone, and then now he's making a note of the fact that Green Pies hasn't improved on his provisional pole time, and maybe he's thinking now, this is my opportunity, as Matimic goes fastest. Look at that. Our man in the racing point has just gone P1. That is absolutely spectacular there from Matimic. That came from absolutely nowhere. He's gone a 1/10 of a second quicker than Green Pies, and I didn't see that coming. I must admit, he's just absolutely blown them away there. What a stunner there from Matthew Duffin. He's absolutely nailed it here around Kota. Green Pies coming up towards the line. Can he improve and go back on top spot? No, he can't. He stays in P2 for the time being. But what a lap there from Matt. Wow, 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 wow. Green Pies now down to P2. Currently still sat on the front row alongside Matt. What is just Jose going to be able to do though? I was just saying, maybe just Jose wanted to wait and see whether or not the time started coming down, because he's obviously been doing practice for this, and he will know exactly what he's capable of doing on those medium tyres. Probably getting out there, doing a few laps, seeing what the others do, and now maybe he's thought to himself, actually, you know what, I can beat this pole time on the mediums. He's gone back into the pit box, he's going to chance it and try and go long into that first stint. We've seen him do it a few times this season. That's just my prediction, my presumption. I don't know, I could be very, very wrong there. I could be very wrong. It could be that he got out there, realised his setup wasn't working, and then brought it back in. But I'm just trying to psych out what he's planning on doing with what he's done so far in this session. But we've got Raceman Motorsport Video says, go Zaynalov, go run DJC. Currently Sergey still sat in 7th place, still hasn't improved that lap time of 33.6 was the benchmark that he set for himself earlier on. But MeltedDazzer, still your man at the top of the leaderboard. 1 minute 30.9, very, very marginally quicker than Green Pies, and he's bringing it into the pits here at the end of this lap. So he clearly thinks he's achieved the absolute maximum that he can. Green Pies has hit the pit wall coming into the pits. Oh no! Green Pies is not going to go any quicker here. The highest he's going to be starting is P2 here in this race, and you've got Unorthodox currently sat in third on a 1 minute 31.4. Brown Recluse is not too far behind him as well, so if either of these guys improve or just Jose comes in right at the end, then we could be seeing a shake up here at the top of that leaderboard. GDBO currently sat in P5, a little way off, and you know what, Jose is still sat in the pit box, so I don't think he's going to go quicker. He's not going to get around in time. Wherever he is, I don't know if that's him just going to the end of the pits now. They're not going to make it. Guys, they're not going to make it. The AlphaTauris have left it too late, and they're not going to improve in this session. So MeltedDazzer looking very good for pole position here. Green Pies lost his front wing going into the pit wall at the end of that outlap, so I think it's going to be pretty much Unorthodox, Brown Recluse, possibly GDBO if he can find a little bit of time. GDBO, I believe, racing in... I'm not sure actually where he's from. But he's currently only 9/10 of a second off for the fastest time being set by MeltedDazzer. MeltedDazer's teammate Gary currently going around, currently sitting a best time of 1 minute 32.9, sat in 6th, coming through the S's. Looks like Sergey's on an outlap. Is he going to get round in time? No, I don't think he is. No, he's not going to get round in time. He's only got 30 seconds left until the end of the lap, so he's left it a day late and $1 short here. JavierranZ coming towards the end of the back straight. He's not going to make it round either. Rednas coming into the pits. He's clearly not an improvement. Maybe he's out of fuel. Evans still staying in the pits. He's not going to improve either. Kieran Argent is not going to set, or is he might just get round in time. Kieran Argent, he's running just behind his teammate Unorthodox here as the two Renaults come out onto the start finish straight. Dan doesn't improve on that lap. Kieran Argent stays P14. The Renaults get over the line just in time to start another lap, so Dan could be our man on pole position tonight if he can really hook this up. What can Unorthodox do? Let's ride with him for the final lap of this qualifying session here. Unorthodox has had a so-so season so far. He's had his races, he's had his big moments here. He's been on the podium a few times, still yet to get a win though in Motive Racing's F1 League. A regular on our Project Cars 2 Formula Renault League last season. He's also a former LMP2 champion and Ginetta G40 Super Cup champion on Project Cars 2 as well. Commentates regularly on our GT4 series on ACC. Also commentates alongside myself for the Project Cars 2. Oh no! He's lost it! He spins it coming out onto the back straight. Oh, that's gutting there for Dan. And that's his session over and done with. That is really unfortunate there for him. I was just picking him up. Trying to give a bit of context to the man, the myth, the legend, the Dan Davis. But we got Brown Recluse coming out onto the back straight now. As we see there, Dan loitering about on the exit of the corner. Brown Recluse could be the man to take pole position away from MeltedDazzer if he can really nail the final part of this lap. Coming towards the end of the back straight now, in towards the braking zone. Very late on the brakes there, 75 metres before the apex. Brilliantly done though, gets it turned in. Nicely done on the apex, on the exit of the corner as well. Looks like this is a very tidy lap so far from Brown Recluse. He's got to find 0.6 of a second if he wants to put it on pole position. Has he got what it takes to knock MeltedDazzer off of his perch? Underneath the Rolex bridge, up towards Max Verstappen corner and in towards the final few corners of this lap here at Circuit of the Americas. What can Brown Recluse do here? Very tidy, quite cautious though, coming through the penultimate corner now. This is where he's going to go absolutely ham out of the last corner, puts his foot to the floor, DRS wide open, and it's P3 for Brown Recluse. Improves his lap time, but not by enough to go on pole position. But Just Jose topples them all. He's done it. Look at that, Just Jose. I didn't think he was going to get round in time to do a lap. I thought he'd left it too late, but he puts in an absolute scorcher there in the final seconds of this qualifying session. Just Jose blitzes them by 7/10, and that came out of nowhere there. But to be fair, I don't know why I'm so surprised. I knew Just Jose had something up his sleeve, but I thought that he left the pit lane too late to get round in time. He hadn't, and he is going to start on pole position for this race. MeltedDazzer is going to be watching that. He's going to be absolutely gutted there. He would have probably felt like that was his pole position to lose. Green Pies will line up in third with Brown Recluse alongside him. Unorthodox fifth, GDBO in sixth, Sergey seventh with Gary eighth, Jelram, JavierranZ, Rednas Evans, DJ Philgreen and Kieran Argent rounding out the field. Game for Life and Penguin Do crashing out of the session. Well, very dramatic end to that qualifying session there. Just Jose in the end managing to go fastest of anybody by 7/10, completely obliterating everybody in the dying embers of that qualifying session. And he will lead us away, and he can put the pressure on Green Pies even more now. Green Pies has got a driver between him and Just Jose, so he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to win this race, or even come in second for that matter. The gap between Just Jose and Green Pies, 7 points in the championship. So a win for Just Jose with a driver in between himself and Green Pies will give Just Jose the outright lead in the championship. Green Pies has really got to pull his finger out, that is for sure. But that is your qualifying session classification, ladies and gentlemen. Join us in a few moments' time for the race. We'll be live for the formation lap in a couple of minutes' time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the formation lap here for round 19 of Motive Racing's Formula 1 League. Things are heating up now. We've got the man chasing down the championship leader, Just Jose. He's chasing down Green Pies, who is the championship leader. Currently 7 points separating these two as it stands. If we were to finish in the qualifying order, then Just Jose will be taking the lead of the championship off of Green Pies. He's got MeltedDazzer in between them. So MeltedDazzer is going to definitely look to try and take this win for himself, and throw a spanner in the works for either of these two guys. It'd be interesting to see how much of a role he plays here in this race, as it looks like we're about to form up here on the grid. But those of you watching live on YouTube, those of you who are checking us out on the Motive Racing channel, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Let your friends know, let your family know. If you think anybody you know is going to enjoy this, then have a look and see. Check us out, and yeah, definitely come along and become a part of the action at MotiveRacing.com as we're forming up here on the grid. We're moments away from the start of the US Grand Prix, here when the last car pulls up. We will be about to go. Here we go. The lights are on. We're about to go racing here in Austin, Texas. And it is very soon about to be lights out in a few seconds time. I think we're about to go now. And there we go, lights out and away we go. Terrible start from one of the Renaults in the mid-pack. That looks like it was Dan there falling backwards straight away, but we're free wide coming up towards turn 1. MeltedDazzer has the lead there, just Joe's getting a horrible start, and oh no! Looks like Gary goes really late on the brakes and pushes GreenPie's out wide. GreenPie's and just Jose both involved in that crash, all caused by Gary going late on the brakes, and MeltedDazzer now leads this race ahead of Sergey. You got JavaCake there in third, but it looks like these front two have broken away a little bit. A VSC already. The pack is all going to have to slow down, but MeltedDazzer had the lead on the inside there, managed to get up into P1 at the first corner, got ahead of just Jose and GreenPie's, and then Gary was the missile coming into turn 1, just completely wiped him out there. The two championship contenders down to the back of the pack as we see Sergey, our reserve for tonight, up into P2 and right behind MeltedDazzer. JavaCake currently running in third place, Brown Recluse in fourth, GDBO there with Evans sixth, there's DJ Phil, Joram, Unorthodox and Penguin Dude in 10th, Kieran Argent and Festic behind these. Just Jose dropped down to 13th place after that wipeout there from Gary. Gary in 14th, Game for Life Rednas and GreenPie's at the back of the field. But MeltedDazzer is your man, currently leading the way at the moment, and the VSC's ended, so we're racing once again. MeltedDazzer leads Sergey, JavaCake, Brown Recluse, GDBO, Evans there in 6th place. We've got DJ Phil driving a great race so far, made his way back through all the carnage. There's Joram sat in 8th place at the moment. There's Unorthodox, Penguin Dude, Kieran Argent, just Jose sat in 12th with Gary in 13th, Festic 14th. There's GreenPie's just behind Game for Life and Redness at the back of the field. MeltedDazzer though is going to lead us around the opening lap for this US Grand Prix. What an opening lap it's been for him. He's been clear away without any issues at the start of this one. Gary definitely helped him out a little bit there at turn 1. There will definitely be a stewards inquiry for that one, as Evans having a look on GDBO, can't get it done. DJ Phil's got Unorthodox very close behind him, and it looks like Joram's lining up a move here on Dan. Dan goes a bit wide, get all over that curve there on the exit of the first corner, keeps it together though. Penguin Dude just watching this in behind them. But that was very, very close to a collision there between those two. And Joe, I'm trying to make the move on Dan, and he spins out into the barriers there. That was a very, very ambitious move there from Joram. And Dan just covered it off, took his normal racing line. There was no way through for him. Joram's now way down back to 12th place in this race. That was a little bit over ambitious there. Ambitious before adhesion there, definitely from Joram. But Unorthodox gets away with that one, continues on his merry way. And he has no reason not to, because that wasn't his fault. But Sergey is currently losing a bit of time to the race leader MeltedDazzer. 1.7 seconds separating the two leaders at the moment. JavaCake there driving a great race in third place with Evans, his wingman at the moment. GDBO in fifth. Unorthodox currently running in sixth place at the moment. There's Penguin Dude with DJ Phil falling off the back of him a little bit. Kieran Argent in ninth. GreenPie's has made his way back up into 10th place so far in this race. Gary 11th. There's Joram in the background of your screen. Obviously had that big bit of a collision there with Dan a few moments ago, running in 12th place right now. Festic 13th, Brown Recluse down in 14th place here. Just Jose is miles behind GreenPie's in this race. He looks to have come off a lot worse in that first corner melee than GreenPie's did. He's really struggling so far. Game for Life sat in 16th position. Rednas currently rounding out your field in the 17th and final spot right now. But Matt still leads the way. He's got over a 2-second gap to Sergey right now in towards turn 1. There is JavaCake running just in front of Evans as they come up towards the first corner. Looks like Evans still trying to put the pressure on as they've got Dan in the background there, definitely making gains on him. GreenPie's making a move here on Kieran Argent and Joram as he got around the outside. He's going to try and get it done here. He's trying to get around DJ Phil as well, but DJ Phil covers that one off and Kieran Argent's going to sneak it back up the inside there, back ahead of GreenPie's. Brilliant stuff there from Kieran Argent to hold on to the position. I thought GreenPie's was going to do both of them on the exit of turn 1 there. Kieran Argent now all over the back of DJ Phil coming through the S's, but still he's going to have to tuck in behind. DJ Phil's covering that one off. No, Kieran Argent goes for a very, very, very ambitious move outside for that corner and then gets the inside for the next one, and GreenPie's follows him through. DJ Phil losing out massively there, and looks like he's got his teammate Joram not too far behind him either. But is GreenPie's going to move on to Kieran Argent? Looks like he is. Commits himself down to the inside, but Kieran Argent holds it around the outside. Kieran Argent driving on those medium tyres. GreenPie's on the soft. This should be routine stuff for Green Pies. He's going to have DRS here coming down this long back straight, and I think he should be able to get that one done. Let's go trackside and see what's going on here. Yeah, Green Pies looks like he's got that one covered, and he's up into 7th place. He can now try and chase down the leaders up ahead. It looks like Ram there having a little look to the inside. No, he's not going to get that one done. Sorry, DJ Phil even. Just behind, just in front of Ram there. What's just Jose up to? He's still making his way back through on the back of Brown Recluse, coming towards the end of the back straight. Is he going to go for a late move up the inside? Brown Recluse running on the hard tyres, made a switch obviously with the first corner issues that we've all seen. It looks like he's now going to try and go long into this race, but just Jose drives clean around the outside of him on those soft tyres, and he's up into 12th place. Another place there made up for just Jose. What is he going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to reel in the guys up ahead and make some positions here in this race? Brown Recluse just behind him there. GDBO currently running in 14th place. Gary in 15th after that first corner pile up that he managed to instigate. We've got Game for Life there sat in 16th. Redlass in the final position right now, but absolutely captivating stuff here in the opening couple of laps of this race, and it's Matahimovic still your leader at the moment, 4.5 seconds ahead of Sergey. Looks like Dan is trying to make a move here on Jaffa Cake around the outside. Is he going to get that one done into the first corner? I think he is, and a bit of ghosting going on there as Jaffa Cake. No, it's not the first corner, sorry, that's out onto the back straight, but Unorthodox is up into 4th place. Nicely done there from him. Evans still running in 3rd, dropping off the back of Sergey though, and he's going to have Dan breathing down his neck very shortly. Jaffa Cake actually disconnected from the race as he was having that side-by-side moment there with Unorthodox, so not sure what's going on there with Jaffa Cake, but his connection's dropped out. Hopefully we'll be able to get himself back in the race before this one ends. Joram on the back of Kieran Argent here. This is the fight for 8th place. Also just Jose lining up another victim. Is he? I'm not sure. Yes, he is. Yep, he's making that move on Festic up into 11th place. Very nicely done there from just Jose. Makes up another place. It's going to be a long way back though for him. It's not been the first part of the race that he would have hoped for, especially with the pace that he had. He took pole by 0.7 of a second, but the first corner pile up definitely did not go his way, and it's really given Green Pies an opportunity to extend that championship gap once again as he goes through Jaffa Cake up into 6th place. Not too far off the back of his teammate Penguin Dude. I imagine Penguin Dude is going to make this one too difficult for Green Pies. Obviously, considering they are teammates at McLaren, they're obviously good friends as well, probably starting a party chat together, so I will imagine that Penguin Dude will be quite considerate towards his teammate. He is challenging for the championship, this Green Pies, and he's currently in a position to extend his championship gap. Sat in 6th place, his teammate not his teammate, his championship rival, just Jose, sat in 11th place, will score no points at the moment, but saying that, he won't finish 11th place, we all know that. He will definitely be somewhere in the points, but how far up we just don't know at this point. Just Jose really needs a safety car to bring himself back into this, but Green Pies will be pretty happy at the moment, picking up that P5. Penguin Dude moves over very diligently. The McLaren team, Zach Brown would have been saying, come on, don't make this too difficult for him, and actually Penguin Dude's holding it on the inside, you know. He's not making it too... There we go, no, he does. He moves over to the side of the road and allows Green Pies to take that position. Dan's pulling up onto the back of Evans now, just under a second separating these two. Joram really close on the back of Kieran Argent now. Both of these two have passed Jaffa Cake for 7th and 8th places, but Joram's really putting the pressure on, trying to get in Kieran Argent's head, trying to force him into a bit of a mistake if he can. Kieran Argent goes really wide there though, and might open up a possibility for Joram to get very, very close and possibly mount a challenge in a few moments time. Kieran Argent goes defensive coming into the penultimate corner. Oh, it's a little bit wide there, bit of a tap in the rear there. Joram onto Kieran Argent, but they could both get away with it and continue on their way. Don't know where to look right now. The action is absolutely non-stop. GDBO looks like he's made the move on Festic, and Festic has lost out there. GDBO and Game for Life both making their way through. Is Game for Life going to try and make a move here on GDBO as well? Obviously, Game for Life running on the soft tyres compared to GDBO on the hard, so he will definitely have more grip at this point. But is he going to be able to use it to his advantage? He's going to have DRS here coming down the main straight. Is this going to be a possibility for a move into towards turn 1? He's going to pull out the slipstream now, has a little look, and GDBO leaves the space on the inside. Looks like Game for Life is going to have that one done, and he's up into 13th place. Very nicely done there from him. Still Dan very, very close on the back of Evans. This is the fight for 3rd place at the moment. Dan is continuing to keep him very much looking in his rearview mirrors. He's going to be watching out and hoping that Dan doesn't go for any speculative lunges up the inside. But at the moment, it's looks like he's actually, you know, he's been quite patient. Is Dan? Dan obviously quite infamous for deploying the Dan dive tactic, but no Dan dives at the moment. Looks like he's not being Dan there on the brakes tonight. That is for sure. We got Kieran Argent. Looks like he's dropping off at the back of Joram a bit after Joram making that move up into 7th place. DJ Phil has just been passed by Brown McCluse, so Brown McCluse is up in position, but DJ Phil having a look to the inside. Is he going to try and make a move back on him here? No, thinks better of that one. But I thought for a moment there that DJ Phil was going to go for it. He's running on the soft tyres, is DJ Phil, compared to Brown McCluse on the hards. So if there was going to be an opportunity for DJ Phil to get that move done, it would have been there. But he tucks in behind. He's going to go again. He's going to rethink that one and live to fight another day in that one. Gary on the back of GDBO, closing in a little bit. GDBO running on the hards. He's going to be suffering with a little bit of loss of grip as Jaffa Cakes join the session once again. Good to see him get himself back involved in the action. Quarter of the way through this race, lap 7 of 28, and so far we've seen a lot of action. MataHimovic had all the luck at the start though, because his teammate Gary was acting as the as a bit of a missile at the beginning. Ended up taking out the 2 championship contenders, just Jose and Green Pies, and it pretty much left MataHimovic in a position where he can just ride off into the sunset with this race win. He's got 7.8 seconds out of the front. Sergey sat in 2nd place. He's got a time penalty by the looks of it, as has Evans, as has Unorthodox. Penguin Dude also with a time penalty. Jerome had a time penalty. Kieran Argent also has picked up a time penalty. Brown Recluse got a time penalty. DJ Phil, GDPO, Gary, Jaffa Cake. No, Jaffa Cake hasn't actually. He's kept it clean. But Rednass has got a time penalty as well. As we see Gary trying to make this move here on GDBO up the inside. He's got that one done up into 12th place. Is GDBO going to try and come back at him and get the undercut? Sorry, the cut back even. Out onto the back straight. I don't think he's going to be able to. Gary has DRS because he was behind him coming into that DRS detection zone. So Gary's going to pull away here coming down the back straight. He's got that position pretty much done and dusted. So what's happening throughout the rest of the field? Looks like those two were actually the closest out on the track. Everybody else just spreading out a little bit now. But it's going to be giving us an opportunity to read some of the comments here on the YouTube stream. David Schnook saying he's getting behind just Jose for this one. He's very much supporting our man currently in 8th place. Looks like Dan's got ahead of Penguin Dude. No, he was already ahead of him. So that was Green Pies coming into the pits even. Green Pies, championship leader, opting to change his tyres and see what he's on. He's on... There we go. He's on the soft tyres, this Green Pies. So he's going for another short stint here. Maybe, just maybe, banking on a safety car. I'm not sure. He's just going full beans at the moment, seeing what he can get, seeing what he can pick up here. He knows just Jose's in a bit of trouble in this race, so he just needs to keep him under pressure and keep just Jose guessing. But he's in some clean air, 5 seconds of clear track up in front of him, so he can just really get his foot down and make some time up throughout the course of this race and in this stint. We've got just Jose now on the back of Joram, still continuing to make up places. You can see Penguin Dude in the distance there, just coming in towards the braking zone now. Joram coming into the braking zone there, and that's just Jose right up his chuff. Not close enough though to make that move, not quite close enough in that DRS range in order to get that P6 position. As Evans is now really close up onto the back of Sergey, and Dan's dropped off of Evans a bit. Since Dad has really been reeling in Evans has responded and he now finds himself within a second of our man in P2. But I just want to say a massive shout out to Sergey in this race, because he has done phenomenally here. He's racing as a reserve tonight, a very late stand-in. There was not really any warning of him being taking part in tonight. He pretty much said to me 15 minutes before the start, is it alright if I jump in and race in the F1? And I said, why not? We got space, might as well. And here he is, currently leading the race, with the race leader MataHimovic having made his pit stop, put a new brand spanking new set of mediums on. It now is Sergey, the man who's currently leading the race. And if he continues to go round after this lap, then he will have led a lap of this race on his debut, provided Evans doesn't overtake him before we get to the end of the lap, that is. But yeah, brilliant stuff here from Sergey right now. Evans still sat in P2. There's Dan, continuing to keep these two very much in sight, but hasn't really got isn't really in a position where he can go for a move or deal any kind of blow to these two at the moment, but Evans looking to the outside of Sergey. Sergey's going to try and defend that inside line. It's Mercedes versus Ferrari, and it looks like Evans went a little bit too wide coming into that corner, and Sergey holds on for the time being. But this is going to get very fruity indeed between these two. Evans continuing to pile on that pressure, trying to get Sergey guessing, I think, a little bit, and maybe force Sergey into a mistake. But at the moment, these two keeping it very, very clean and tidy. These two are the leaders, but the net leader of the race is MeltedDazzer, having made his mandatory pit stop and got it done and out of the way early on. So let's see exactly what the situation is with these pit stops. JustJose obviously came in early on, having had to come in due to that first lap pile up, but he's really done well. He's come back brilliantly from that, it must be said, and he's only 5 seconds off of the leader, MeltedDazzer. Wow, that is impressive stuff from JustJose, but he is on a set of softs, so he will definitely have to come into the pits again. But I wonder if he'll go for a hard stint at the end and just go all out, I guess, just try and maximise his tyres until the checkered flag. But at the moment, 5 seconds off for the race leader, MeltedDazzer. Having said that, he won't be a threat to Matt, but he'll definitely want to finish ahead of Green Pies. Green Pies comes into this round, obviously 4 races to go with a 7-point lead in the championship. So if he can finish ahead of Green Pies, he'll continue to close that gap. But Green Pies definitely is going to have the ascendancy here in this race, because he got away with the first lap crash a little bit more lightly than JustJose did. JustJose had a lot of damage. I mean, a lot of damage, and obviously that will definitely affect him at some point. But Green Pie is currently just over a second behind Unorthodox at the moment on the track. See him get the power down out onto the back straight right now. Sergey, though, having made that pit stop, is currently about 10 seconds behind the net race leader, MeltedDazzer. So pretty much where he was. Joel Ram and Penguin Dude. Oh, looks like Joel Ram's got that move done on Penguin Dude. Gets a brilliant run there out of that corner, and he's up into 4th place there. Nicely done there from Joel Ram. Penguin Dude gets slidey there, getting there, absolutely pushing that McLaren to its limits. It looks like maybe those medium tyres, I don't know if they're struggling a bit. It looks like he's struggling to put the power down ever so slightly. But yeah, I wonder if he's got a bit of a problem at the moment. Hopefully not. Dan has got Sergey breathing down his neck in this battle for 6th place, and Dan, just noticing, has jumped Sergey in the pit stops. So he obviously had a quicker run through the pit lane. So Dan now sat in 5th, Sergey 6th, just behind him. Green Pies breathing down these guys' necks in at 7th position. Green Pies will hope that he can get himself on the podium maybe and get a few points gained over JustJose in this race, and just keep the pressure on JustJose going into the final 3 rounds of the season. Could be a typical Rosberg-Hamilton kind of a finale to the season if we see Green Pies gaining points on JustJose coming out of this race. CJR, I'm picking up 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings, so he's obviously been told, look, you need to sort this out, otherwise you're going to get a penalty. It's nice to see that the stewards are actually giving him a warning and giving him a heads up that he needs to cut it out rather than leaving it until it's too late. But Sergey is going to be passed by Green Pies coming down the back straights. Green Pies breezes past him coming into the braking zone. Easy there for Green Pies. Too easy, in fact, as we see Penguin Dude and Dan almost having a bit of a to-do there. Looks like a bit of a collision there, as we see one of them lagging all over the place. There's a slight bit of lag there affecting this server. Hopefully that doesn't continue. As we see Sergey having a little look to the outside of Penguin Dude. Still tucks in behind, still not able to get that one done just at the moment. But this race heating up now in the battle for what is going to be a podium spot, I reckon, once all is said and done. Once Evans comes into the pits, this is going to be the battle for 3rd place here in this race. Evan is now coming in and making that stop, putting a set of the medium tyres on. I wonder if he's going to try and go to the end on those medium tyres. We know that with a safety car, you can make them last about 16, 17 laps. A couple of safety cars even. So I wonder if he can go 16 laps on these without any safety cars. Doesn't look like we're going to have any safety cars here in this race. We haven't had any so far, but touch wood, we don't have any safety cars. We haven't had a single one so far throughout the course of this race, which is quite a turn up for the books. It's not something we often see here at Motive Racing in the Formula 1 League. Usually we have at least a couple throughout the course of the race. As we see, Penguin Dude's got ahead of Sergey. Sergey has had a bit of a moment there. He's dropped back. He's now down to 6th place here. One man who's really lost out on the pit stops though is Evans. He's now 7 seconds behind that fight for the podium spot. So he's had an absolute horror show here. Just Jose currently sat in second place at the moment. He's 5 seconds ahead of Unorthodox, and he's 6 seconds ahead of his championship rival Green Pies. But he's out of sync in terms of pit stops though. As we can see, Sergey trying to make a move running outside of Penguin. He does that brilliantly there to Sergey. Absolutely perfect driving there. Just squeezed around the outside of him, made it stick, and Penguin Dude gave him the space. What an absolutely phenomenal move there from Sergey Zainalov up into 5th place. Immediately answering back to that move that Penguin Dude pulled on him earlier in the lap. But it looks like Penguin Dude's not giving this one up lightly. Into the penultimate corner, goes really wide there, riding over the curb. As Sergey goes really wide there, in towards the last corner. Sergey still defending this position really well at this moment. DRS for Penguin Dude. Is he going to be able to send one up the inside? Is he going to be close enough into the braking zone? He's going to have a look. Medium tyres versus hard tyres. Sergey trying to go along into the stint, and Penguin Dude looks like he's got that one done back up the inside there. Oh, chopping and changing, but Sergey manages to get the cut back out of turn 1. And side by side here, coming up towards the S's. One of them surely got to back out. Sergey in the end looks like he squeezes through and back up into 5th place. What brilliant racing we're seeing between these two. They're putting on a hell of a show for 5th place. They're losing time to the guys in 3rd and 4th, Dan and Green Pies. But what a show these guys are putting on. JR's got to be absolutely taking his hat off that to Sergey for that one. His team member, Team Run DJC, putting on a fantastic performance here at Circuit of the Americas. I've been neglecting you guys in the comments. I do apologise. We got the Lazy Camel voicing his support for Penguin Dude, currently running in 6th place, having a great battle here with Sergey. JR says he's going for Zainalov for the win. Unfortunately, Sergey's lost a bit of time to the leaders, but what a fight there we saw with Penguin Dude, and showing his mettle there, JR, going toe to toe with Penguin Dude for pretty much a whole lap and coming out on top, still retaining that 5th place for the time being. The Wall wants Penguin Dude to do well in this race, very much talking him up there. His Team ODC member, we got David Schnook getting behind Green Pies, telling him just to calm down, keep composed. At the moment, Green Pies is in a great position in this race. As it stands, he'll be finishing ahead of Just Jose. Just Jose needs to pit, and I think he's out of sync in terms of the pit stops. He must be, surely. Green Pies, I think, is... Oh, Green Pies is in. Green Pies is into the pits. Let's see what tyres he's going to put on. Oh, wow. Let's see what tyres he puts on. He's putting on the mediums. Okay. I reckon Green Pies is going to be trying to go to the end of the race on these medium tyres. Now, Just Jose still going round. And how long has Just Jose made these soft tyres last? I'm just trying to work out how long he's gone on these soft tyres. He's been on those for an age. I don't know. That doesn't add up to me. He's been on those soft tyres since the 2nd or 3rd lap, I'm sure. Very strange there. I don't know how he's done that. But he's currently 4.5 seconds behind Matahimovic on the road. Matahimovic continues to lead this race. Just Jose second. There's Unorthodox currently running in that final podium spot. As Green Pies has picked up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Just needs to get his head together and keep himself composed in this race. Still a long way to go. Just Jose has to pit again. So he just needs to not lose his head at this point. That is for sure. Evans is currently just behind Penguin Dude on the track. And Penguin Dude's covering that one off in that battle for 5th. These two still right behind Sergey. Evans has brought himself into this fight though. Penguin Dude still needs to come into the pits though. He still needs to make that stop. Because those tyres will be probably screaming out in agony at this point. He's been on those mediums for 15 laps. So he'll certainly need to come in for a stop in at least a lap or two's time. A few more comments coming in. We've got Alfie, otherwise known as Jaffa Cake there, saying something's happened with my internet. My car's just disconnected. It said I was 3rd on my screen. Yeah, we saw you having a good battle with Dan just as you disconnected there, Alfie. Not the race that you would have wanted, unfortunately, mate, but hopefully next time out you'll have a bit more luck on your side. Green Pies for a podium, Pro Lassie, says Maze Gamer. Green Pies still sat in P7 at the moment, but he's made an extra pit stop to the rest of these guys, and he can go to the end of this race. So still, the ball is in his court. He can still do a lot from here definitely not out of this race at the moment. It's a long pit lane here as well at Kota, so you lose a bit more time than the usual. You lose about 22, 23 seconds in the pits, so he's still in that window. He's still in striking distance of Just Jose at this point. His aim's got to be to finish out of Just Jose now. That's got to be his target for this one, as he's going to have DRS here on Evans, but he's got a train of cars in front of him, which is definitely not ideal. He breezes past Evans there on the back straight and up into 6th place. Evans probably not going to fight that one too hard, I wouldn't imagine. He's got Penguin Dude just in front of him, so Green Pies surely won't be held up too much by his teammate. Having said that though, his teammate has got a battle going on in front of him in the shape of Sergey, so Green Pies will be hoping that Penguin Dude is a little bit considerate here. But Penguin Dude looks like he's in no mood to wave him by due to the fact he's in a fight of his own. But there we go, no, he does move over, and Green Pie's now all over the back of Sergey for 4th place. Sergey goes a little bit wide there, coming to the penultimate corner in towards the final turn now. Just Jose coming into the pits to make that pit stop there, so he's coming out of the pits now, and he's come out ahead of Green Pies. He's come out in front of him. Medium tyres for Just Jose. He said in the comments there that his tyres were 70% worn. Wow, he really did push those as far as they could possibly go. They must have been on an absolute cliff by the time you came in there, Just Jose. But he's come in, and he's come out 3.5 seconds ahead of Green Pies, who's got ahead of Sergey for that 4th place. So now 3.5 seconds separating the two championship contenders on the same tyres. They're both on the set of the mediums, but Just Jose's tyres slightly younger than Green Pies. Now Green Pies has got to just absolutely full on go for it here in this final part of the race. I don't know whether or not it's going to be possible for him to be. Maybe it could be just a case of damage limitation in this race. Maybe he's just got to stay close to Just Jose and minimise the points gained. If Just Jose, if they come, say for example they come 3rd and 4th as they are now, Just Jose will gain 3 points. Green Pies will still lead the championship. It will just be a damage limitation. So definitely at the moment it's not the worst situation for Green Pies. As it stands, he will hold on to the championship lead after this race, as long as he stays where he is, as long as he keeps Just Jose in his sights and stays within a position of him. He will still retain the championship lead going into round 20 next week. Just needs to keep doing what he's doing. He doesn't need to let this get to his head too much. The fact that he's behind Just Jose isn't a problem as long as he retains that championship lead. Looks like Evans was on the back of Penguin Dude, but Penguin Dude finally coming in to make that stop. And Sergey having a bit of a knock with the wall there as he came into the pit lane, losing a bit of his front wing. He's coming into the box now. Penguin Dude just behind him there. Brown Recluse up into 6th on those harder tyres. He's on the back of DJ Phil, trying to put a lap on him here. Brown Recluse has done 14 laps though on these hard tyres. He's surely going to have to box for some softs pretty soon. I'd imagine he'd probably leave it a couple of laps, maybe 2 or 3 more laps, and then come in and put those soft tyres on and try and get to the checkered flag on those. So Kieran Argent also in the pits right now. Penguin Dude just coming out of the pits there, emerges in P10 on the softs. He'll be looking to try and get those softs until the checkered flag here, I'm sure of that. The guys in front of him will still need to pit, so he might be within a window of Brown Recluse, GDBO, Game for Life, and Sergey doesn't have to pit it again. So actually I think Penguin Dude might be lucky to get into the top 8 here in this race, looking at that timing board. Gary looks like he's on the back of Gelram here. This is the fight for 11th. Gelram very close to Penguin Dude now. Into the braking zone, tucks in behind for now. Oh, he gives him a bit of a tap in the rear. Penguin Dude's round. Oh, Gelram. We'll have to wait for him there. He is backing off and waiting for Penguin Dude to get it back together again. So fair play to Gelram there for the sportsmanship, but that was naughty there coming into the braking zone. As such, he will have to wait for him to get it going once again. Redna's coming out of the pits, emerging in P14 here in this race. Festic there in P15 coming up towards turn 1. DJ Phil still going. Jaffa Cake, I think DJ Phil and Jaffa Cake are both disconnected. That's the AI's in for them. Matahimovic, still your man leading this race though. 6 seconds he's got back to unorthodox. Now, these two are a long way ahead of Just Jose. It's pretty much between Matahimovic and unorthodox for the race win here. 6 seconds separates them. Either way, we're going to have a first time winner here for Motive Racing's Formula 1 League tonight. 19 rounds into the season. So far this season, every single race has been won by either this man here, Just Jose, this man here, Green Pies, or on the one time, Gary 131. Just Jose's taken 10 wins this season, Green Pies has taken 7, and Gary took the other one, so they have 18 rounds between them. But Just Jose and Green Pies taking the lion's share of victories this evening. Tonight, however, it's all going to change. Matahimovic and Unorthodox currently 1 and 2 here in this race, as Matahimovic gets a big slide there coming out of the last corner, keeps it together, pointing in the right direction. But yeah, 7.5 seconds between these two right now. Either way, it's going to be a baptism of fire for one of these two, but Dan's got a time penalty there, you can see on the screen, so he's clearly overstepped the track limits a little bit too much. And also, just actually looking at the tyres, I think he's probably going to have to pit again. So really, it's Matahimovic in the box seat here in this race. He's done absolute bits tonight, as Matthew Duffin. What a performance he has put in. And he's continuing to drive away from Dan, despite being on medium tyres, despite his tyres being a lap older as well. Hell of a shift from Matahimovic so far. Penguin Dude looks like he's on the back of Kieran Argent in this battle for 11th place. These two still very, very close. 0.8 of a second separating them on the track. But we're approaching the final third of this race now. Closing stages, if you will. Let's ride with Penguin Dude and Kieran Argent. See if Penguin Dude can get anything done here with Kieran as he comes in towards turn 1. Kieran Argent goes a little bit wide, gets away with it, keeps it going. Just noticing one thing, Matahimovic has come in to put a set of the softs on. Wow, look at that. Matahimovic there has been into the pit box. He was running on the medium tyres. I thought he may have been able to stretch it to the end, but he's obviously not wanting to take too many risks. He's come out behind Just Jose, but he's on a fresh set of soft tyres compared to Just Jose being on those mediums, which he's been on for 3 laps. So Matahimovic will definitely have a pace advantage coming into the final few laps of this race. 8 laps left to go, lap 20 of 28. So this is now definitely given us quite an exciting finish to this race. Just Jose been gifted the lead. What can Matahimovic do about it now that he's gone the grippier tyre? And those tyres should easily be able to make it to the end. 9 laps on the soft isn't too much of a stint. It should be okay. Green Pie's running just behind Unorthodox here on the track. It's 1.4 seconds between the two of them. Penguin Dude's got ahead of Kieran Argent up into 11th place. Is Kieran Argent going to be able to come back at him though? Coming into the braking zone. Don't think he is. Penguin Dude actually had DRS because he was behind him coming into the DRS detection zone. So he keeps onto that position. These two look like they're reeling in Gary a little bit. Gary running on those hard tyres. Will definitely be able to get to the end, but I reckon he could have put a set of mediums on and made it to the finish. But he's played it safe, put the hards on, and he'll suffer from a lack of pace as a result. Brown McClue's done 18 laps on the hard. Looks like he's got GDBO just behind him. These two have gone so long into this race, but they're going to have to come in again. Those tyres are not going to last to the end. They're going to be pretty much on a knife's edge as it is at the moment. Brown McClue still holding on here. Ahead of GDBO. in this fight for 6th place. These two not far behind Evans, who's got back ahead of them in the last lap or so. Penguin Dude's still on the back of Gary though, and he's pulled gap Kieran Argent a little bit over the course of this last lap or so. Just Jose leads to ahead of Matahimovic by 2 seconds. Matt's closing in, definitely bringing that gap down as we would expect him to, being on the much grippier tyre of the softs. These two are pulling away a lot from unorthodox now, and maybe Dan might find himself open to Green Pies pretty shortly. 2.5 seconds separating Dan and Green Pies. Evans, Brown McClue's and GDBO still fighting it out as Brown McClue's made the move on GDBO. Oh, they're so close, almost having a bit of a tap there, and GDBO's going to have another look back to the other side, and Brown McClue's pushes him wide. Oh, bit of a wiggle there, and looks like Brown McClue's been pushed out massively. GDBO sneaks up the inside of Evans and up into 5th place on very worn out hard tyres. Great driving there from GDBO. Evans and Brown McClue's lose out, and looks like Brown McClue's is getting absolutely swamped now. Game for Life moves up the inside, and I think Brown McClue's is eventually coming in for a tyre change. Those tyres have gone an incredibly long way. GDBO's have as well, but Brown McClue's look like they've dropped off the cliff, and GDBO's still going. Maybe he's going to try and get these tyres all the way to the checkered flag. 7 laps left to go. He's done 18 laps on them so far. 25 laps on a set of tyres. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but GDBO's giving it a good go. As you can see, Brown McClue's has put a set of softs on, and he will be able to go to the end. How much pace is he going to have over the guys up ahead of him? We'll have to see. Joram's still on the back of Penguin Dude in this fight for 12th place up towards turn 1. He's a little bit too far back to go for the move though, coming onto the brakes. Just Jose still leads. He's got Matahimovic continuing to bring that gap down. Now this is going to be where I think we're going to see a change for the lead, because Matahimovic brought it into the pits, put the soft tyres on for his final stint of the race. He had a comfortable lead, but he wanted to play it safe and making sure that he could get to the end comfortably, and he now finds himself very close behind the race leader, Just Jose on those mediums, Matahimovic on the softs, so Matt will have that enormous advantage in terms of grip, and surely he's going to get this one done on this lap now. Just Jose, a very pacey driver, obviously in the fight for the championship. He's not going to want to take too many risks with Matahimovic. Matahimovic is going to be going all out for this with not a whole lot to lose, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a change for the lead in a few moments time in towards the S's. Lap 23 of this race. Matahimovic has led this one pretty much since the get-go, and you could see how much more grip he's got in comparison to Just Jose. He clearly has got a huge pace advantage right now. Just Jose's picked up another time penalty for Kieran Argent, sorry, picked up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Onto the brakes. Matt's going to have DRS here coming down this back straight, and big wiggle there from Just Jose. Will have cost him a little bit. Here we go. DRS wide open for the racing point. He's in that slipstream. He's going to try and pull out here to the left hand side and make this move here. Just Jose defends the position though, and Matt's going to have to go around the long way. I think he's going to cover that one off for the time being. Matt's going to try and drive around the outside, but Just Jose parks his car on the inside, puts it in exactly the right place, and there's no way around the AlphaTauri for the racing point at the moment, but he's tucking in behind, really hassling him, hounding him, coming through this section of the track. He goes on the inside. Just Jose leaves the door open, and I think Matahimovic is going to have that one done, but Just Jose's still there on the outside. Bit of a bang in wheels between the two of them, still side by side, and Just Jose almost taps him in the rear there. Just Jose did so well to hold on to that. He was very ambitious there, and in the end, just at the last minute, realised that wasn't a good idea. Had to just wrestle the car back under control, and Matahimovic leads this race once again with 5 laps left to go here for the US Grand Prix at Motive Racing. Lap 24 of 28. Just Jose is going to have to slot in behind him and maybe deal with being second best tonight. Matahimovic is your man with the ascendancy once again. Led the race at the start, has pretty much led the entire race. Just Jose got gifted the lead due to Matt coming in, putting the soft tyres on, wanting to play it safe, not wanting to risk his medium tyres falling off the cliff at the end, and he's played an absolute blinder with the strategy tonight. Hats off to him for just being so on point with all the strategic decisions tonight. But Just Jose's also done a really good job coming from the back of the field at the opening lap, with Gary causing that major collision at the beginning of the race. But I think Just Jose's going to see that racing point drive away into the distance now, but he's got DRS here actually coming down the back straight. Matahimovic might have to defend to the inside here. Just Jose goes for a very late move on the inside. Is Matt going to try and get the cut back here? Just Jose's actually made the move back on him there. Unbelievable stuff. Matt's back up the inside for the next corner, and just Jose's still going to try and hold it around the outside of him. I think he's still, wow, big lock up there from just Jose on the front left tyre. MeltedDazzer is going to have the inside for this next corner under the Rolex bridge. They are still side by side. MeltedDazzer clinging on for dear life. I thought he was going to have that one pretty much done when he made that move on those soft tyres, but just Jose is not giving up and not giving in. It's a never say die attitude here from just Jose, but massive image round the outside at the last corner and still maintaining the lead at this race. Absolutely brilliant racing from these two. I don't know how MeltedDazzer managed to hold on to that one, but he's done brilliantly there to keep onto the lead after making that move down the back straight of the previous lap. Just Jose came back at him on this lap, but Matt still holds the lead of the race. But just Jose's not lying down despite being on the inferior tyre, and he's done a few more laps on those two. He's still not willing to give in. Absolutely great driving from these two. As we can see, Game for Life here still sat in P5. He's got GDPO half a second behind him as they're coming out of the penultimate corner, but I think GDPO is actually, his tyres must be very close to falling off the cliff now. He's done 21 laps on those hard tyres. I'll grant you they were hard tyres, but come on, 25 laps by the end of this race. How is he going to be able to do that? I just do not know. If he manages to get those tyres to the end without falling off the cliff, then he is an absolute genius. I tell you that. GDPO, the Sergio Perez of Motive Racing. You heard it here first. What a job he has done so far. Can he complete the job and get it to the end? Just Jose looks like he's got back ahead here of MeltedDazzer. They're still side by side, the two leaders. Matt's going to cover him off once again. They're going toe to toe throughout the entire lap. I think just Jose must have had a good run on him coming down the back straight, and Matt has now fended him off once again. We're going to stick with these two leaders. I know there's battles going on throughout the rest of the pack, but this is where it's at. This is for the win. Can MeltedDazzer take his first win of the season, or is just Jose going to take his 11th win of the season? I know which one I'd rather see, to be honest with you, and that's no knocking just Jose, because he's a great driver. He's done a phenomenal job this season, but I think he's had enough wins this season. He's all too used to standing on the top step. I think it's time for a new order. We want to see somebody else taking maximum points, and Matt's done a phenomenal job since the beginning, qualified right up there on the front row alongside just Jose, and he's currently got the faster tyre, and he's currently got what looks to be the ascendancy in this race, but it can all chop and change so quickly. Just Jose looks like he's falling off of MeltedDazzer a little bit coming through this sector. This is where the soft tyres are going to really have a big advantage. Coming through the S's, these slow speed and high speed corners are definitely going to be where the Racing Point leaves that AlphaTauri due to the tyre advantage. But here down the back straight, it's not going to matter a whole lot, and this is where just Jose, if he can keep himself in that DRS, gives himself a fighting chance coming for the final sector, because he can get really close to him. MeltedDazzer goes for a very late move to the inside to defend the position. Just Jose to the outside is going to try and hold it around him, but MeltedDazzer is going to squeeze him out to the edge of the track. Very close racing, giving him the minimum amount of space, but just Jose's back up the inside for the next corner. These two once again through this section of the track seem to constantly be going at it, but Matt's going to defend that inside line and keep onto the position once again. Just Jose having a look every single place around the track that he can, but for the time being Matt is still weathering that storm. 5 laps he's done on these soft tyres, they will comfortably get to the end of the race. He doesn't have to worry about tyre wear. Likewise, just Jose will easily be able to get those mediums to the end. These two are going to be racing flat out for these final 2 laps here in Texas, and they're currently starting lap 27 of 28. MeltedDazzer still your leader, still with the ascendancy. 0.4 of a second separating them coming into turn 1. Unorthodox there sat in 3rd place. He's 11 seconds behind these two. Has picked up another time penalty for track limits, but this is going to go down to the wire between these two. This is going to be one that we're not going to see the end of until we get to the checkered flag. Still MeltedDazzer with a very small buffer, and he tends to pull out a little bit through this section of the track, but then coming down the back straight, just Jose, as long as he has that DRS, seems to really reel him in, and they're pretty much side by side throughout the whole last sector. We see this over the last couple of laps. Are we going to see a roll, or rather a repeat of what we've been seeing over these last couple of laps? Here we come, up to the DRS zone. AlphaTauri, rear wing wide open here, right on board with just Jose. See if he's able to get this done this time on MeltedDazzer. He's very close again, but I think the corner is going to come just in time there for Matt. Just Jose looking to the outside, but he's further back this time than he has been over the last couple of laps, and MeltedDazzer this time seems to be able to hold him off relatively with ease. but he's definitely going to be on tenterhooks for this last lap, because he knows he's only a lap away from his first victory here in this Formula 1 league. What an achievement it would be if he's able to bring this one home. His teammate Gary, the only driver to have denied Just Jose and Green Pies, have taken a clean sweep of the victory so far this season. Can MeltedDazzer become the 4th driver to stand on the top step of the podium here at Motive Racing for the inaugural season of the F1 League? Out onto the start-finish straight. DRS wide open for Just Jose. He's nowhere near within striking distance to go for a move. Coming into turn 1. Here we go then. This is for all the marbles. This is it. This is the time when Just Jose's got to go for it. Or can MeltedDazzer hold on? Can he continue to weather the storm, not succumb to the pressure, and keep that AlphaTauri behind him for just one more lap of this race? This is where Matt's got the pace, but he has to cut the inside of the first part of the S's there. He definitely took advantage of it, but also put him offline for the rest of the corner. If anything, he lost a bit of time there coming through that section of the track, but he holds on to the lead for the time being. Still 0.4 of a second separating these two. Just Jose is closer this time than he was on the last lap. That is for definite. Coming out onto this back straight where Just Jose will have the DRS. Matt needs a good run out of this corner, and he hasn't got it. He hasn't got it at all. Just Jose's going to have DRS here. Let's ride aboard with him this side by side here, coming down the back straight. Final lap of the race here at Austin, Texas. Is MeltedDazzer going to go for a move? Try and come back at him into the brakes. He hasn't even looked. Just Jose goes wide. They're so close between them, but Just Jose, has he pulled off a final lap manoeuvre to take the race win back? MeltedDazzer gives Just Jose a big tap in the rear. Tries to put him offline a little bit, but Just Jose's holding on. MeltedDazzer goes for a really late move. Oh my goodness, has he pulled it off? I think he has. Just Jose goes really wide off onto the runoff area. MeltedDazzer and Just Jose side by side coming to the final section of the track. That was a really aggressive move there from MeltedDazzer, but is it going to pay off? Is it going to give him the race win? They're still side by side into the ultimate corner. Matt has the inside line. Just Jose, his driver puts his hand up in the air, says what's all that about? But MeltedDazzer comes out of the final corner here at Circuit of the Americas, and he's going to take the checkered flag. It's MeltedDazzer who becomes the 4th winner of Motive Racing's Formula 1 season. Just Jose comes home in 2nd place. In the end, had a time penalty. It wouldn't have mattered, but what a show those two put on. Absolutely brilliant racing. Unorthodox comes over to take the final podium spot there in 3rd place. Green Pies is going to come home in 4th, a long way behind, and he's going to lose 5 points to Just Jose, so he will still have a very slender lead in the championship going into next week. So Green Pies holds on to his championship lead, sets the fastest lap on the final lap, so he'll have a 2-point lead in the championship. What a great battle there between MeltedDazzer and Just Jose. MeltedDazzer says in the general chat section on Discord, great fight there to Just Jose. Incredible racing. MeltedDazzer was not going to lie down there. That move coming into the final part of the stadium was out of this world. He timed his braking to perfection. It was right on the limit, but he threw it up the inside. He was basically, he'd come that far, he's not going to back out at that point, that is for sure. So it's great driving there from MeltedDazzer and Just Jose. Game for Life came over in 5th, GDBO 6th, Evans 7th place, Brown McClues comes round in 8th. Actually, big shout out to GDBO, I've got to say, 25 laps on the hard tyres. Come on, son, that is unreal. How has he done that? That is incredible there from GDBO. But comes home in P6. So that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for round 19 of the Formula 1 League. The US Grand Prix did not disappoint. We saw a spectacular show here tonight. It is MeltedDazzer taking his first win in the Formula 1 League. A big congratulations to Matt. The 2 racing points of Matt and Gary, the only 2 to deny Just Jose and Green Pies a win this season. The 2 championship contenders in the end. Both losing points, but Just Jose closing the point to Green Pies in the championship. They got 2 points at the top of the standings going into the 3rd to last round next week. Make sure you join us next time here at Motive for the Formula 1 League for round 19 and next. It's round 20 even next week. This was round 19, apologies. But also make sure you join in for our GT3, our British GT3 off-season event, the final round of that British GT3 off-season event. That's coming up on Sunday night. That will be live from 6-7 p.m. one of the two. Just load up Motive Racing on Sunday night, you'll be able to find it. But from me, it's a big thank you to everybody who joined us here on the stream. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel, join us at motiveracing.com. Big thank you to the patrons, you all know who you are. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Good night.